But some businesses, they are not hesitating to drop their mask policies, but some groups, on the other hand, they're calling out the CDC, saying it's completely wrong to change these guidelines. That includes the largest nurses union in the country, National Nurses United, telling the CDC to actually take back its guidelines. So I just checked these numbers for you guys this morning, and I found something interesting. Winnebago County is one of just 4 counties in the entire state to have more than 1% of its population vaccinated. So we'll give you a look at some other areas around the state.
I was going to say, now your resume can be like, producer and then reporter, and now you can have fill-in.
There you triple threat. Oh, yeah, triple threat. That's where we're going to go. She said triple threat. And this is one of the first things they addressed at the press briefing. What is this going to do for the Rock River, our water supply here in the state line? So they actually told us that they're putting up trenches right now. It's thousands of flights. This is just from over the weekend. The airline blaming the storms and bad weather across the country, especially in the Chicago area, also Orlando and Denver.
Nora Rogers bringing us the latest from the Rockford Fire and Police Commission meeting. A big meeting, Nora.
That's right. There is a lot of input coming in on what our next police chief should bring to the table, including this list. 20 bullet points of what one group is hoping to see. This particular one is something the commission says they actually hadn't considered before. It says, quote, eliminating the warrior mentality of the police department and create a guardian mentality. The group behind this idea, Eliminate Racism 815, they also mentioned prioritizing the mental health of officers, but ultimately they think the next police chief really needs to bring something completely different than we've ever seen before.
Chief, it sets the culture. The culture is established now. There are problems with the culture, which we know just from the mistrust in the community.
And these discussions are completely open. The commission says when they meet, they do make it known 40 hours beforehand. So we will, of course, be following this entire process as they search for the next police chief. This is the picture sparking a lot of questions right now. It's Pete Buttigieg wearing 2 masks at the inauguration. So people are wondering, should I be doing this? Is this really effective? Does it make a difference? Doctors are weighing him now, and some are actually saying it's a good idea.
The freezing, the thawing, really taking a toll on our roads. You're probably feeling some of those potholes underneath it all. But new this morning, we're learning more about how the city plans to pay for those repairs.
The question really remains right now, do we keep our city's 1% sales tax or come up with some new ways to fund construction? Our lead producer, Nora Rogers, looking into what we're really voting on in just a few weeks. Nora?
Yeah, so there are 2 options on the table right now, and it really comes down to how much money is going to be coming out of your pocket. So here's a look at some of the roads being fixed over the next 4 years. Just to give you an idea, this is East State Street up here, so really all across the city. The question right now is, where is the money going to come from? So right now, with the sales tax in place, 30% of the money we put into our roads comes from people who don't even live in Rockford. So if the tax is voted against, Mayor McNamara says we'd be relying on property taxes, which are solely paid for by people here at home.
If you live in neighborhoods, well, we've invested an additional $1 million each year I've been mayor into neighborhood infrastructure. If you're a business owner and you need to move product across our community, when I took office, we had 15 bridges that had load restrictions or were closed. This existing capital improvement plan addresses all of them.
Well, obviously, people always wonder where their money's going towards. People complain a lot about property taxes here in the city. So what improvements have been made with this tax right now?
Yeah, so far we've learned that more than $170 million has gone to projects just from this tax alone. And I also pulled some pictures from the City of Rockford's website. These are other projects that are a part of their plan.
Training their brains for this.
Right, and this is actually, some people have told me that this is their biggest fear when it comes to getting coronavirus, is losing their sense of taste or smell. So there might actually be a way to get it back. There's a new study out this morning from British researchers. Now, Costco is hoping to bring more people back into its stores by reopening its food court and bringing back those free samples. They'll most likely going to be offered in to-go bags, so you'll take the samples to go, carry them out of the store. Costco says it will carefully watch which states are reallowing some of those regulations. They're hoping, though, that free food is going to bring shoppers back into their stores. They haven't seen people in a while.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because you wonder, when you eat, you want to buy whatever's in front of them.
Right.
So how is that going to work?
I don't know if the to-go is really going to be successful, but I guess we'll wait and see.
All right, thank you, Nora.
And I know I'm totally pushing this Kerrygold brand, but I'm serious, like, top it with butter.
No,
Kerrygold butter, because it's a game changer. And of course, our peak is right around April when the pandemic first hit the U.S. You can see we've trended downward tremendously, but we're still higher than we were at this time last year. So weekly numbers, the court records that show Shane Boma was arrested on a warrant and he was actually out on furlough at the time of the murder. In his case, he was released into a drug rehab program, and then investigators believe he actually escaped that facility. This is just coming in from Lubrizol, who owns Chemtool. They're saying they are confident there are no health risks from the materials that have burned in the fire. Now, we've just learned that health and safety officials have finished looking through all of those materials. Lubrizol now says 90% of the elements in there are found in everyday environments like carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen. Now, the other 10%, they say apparently are found in products that we use regularly, like calcium and sulfur. Again, this is just in officially a report from Lubrizol. That's the parent company of Chemtool. Meanwhile, some people we're still hearing are concerned about our water quality. Fire officials also have been telling us no chemicals so far have been leaked into the Rock River.
We're just cracking up. Our lead producer, Nora Rogers, joins us. You've seen her many times. She's reporting as well, but we're going to put her to the test today. All right, so number one, have you ever used a beeper or a pager?
I would not know what a beeper is unless you said pager.